we are here in Ubud, on the island of Bali, facing the threat, level 4 out of 4 warning about the imminent eruption of Volcano Agung. So, with Bapa Anand Krishna, we're going to talk about different precautions and maybe things we can do to help facing this threat.
Yes, hello. We are meeting to discuss something very serious now. Normally we meet on a lighter tone, but okay. Okay.
So, my first question would be,
yes.
How do we face our fears, our anxiety, our maybe possibly anger
yes.
about what is happening, going to happen in our lives? For our children, for our family, for our friends, for our cattle, if we are a peasant, our homes, and so on. How do we face that?
Well, from the spiritual point of view, I was rereading a book by Bodhidharma, the Zen master. And he says that expect problems.
Expect?
Problems.
Promise?
Problems.
Oh, problems.
Because life is full of problems. So expect them. And don't push them under the rug. What we normally do is, when we are fearful, we try to forget it, or we try to take it lightly. Okay, somebody's taking care of this, you know. No, I think we should know what kind of danger we are facing, and we should know it well, and then only we can take the proper measurement. If we try to forget the problem, you know, a lot of people, I think you may have the same experience also, Mari. A lot of people think that everything's taken care of and life will be normal, but it is not. It is not.
Yeah, we live in a world, it seems that we put on a lot of responsibility on the government.
Yes.
That is, they are going anonymously, are going to take care of our daily lives, and facing the volcano, everything is going to be organized and we don't need to worry about it, it's going to be okay. But there are a few things that it seems that a lot of people are ignorant about and that we should mention here for the sake of clarity.
True.
I think.
True.
Yeah?
And also to put the responsibility on God. That God can take care of, you know. But the volcano is vomiting because of God also. That is also God's will. So, you know, to put responsibility on anybody or anything, on any entity, even divine entity, I think it's not right. We have to take up the responsibility ourselves. And this morning you sent me an email. I think this is very good what you're doing, that you have given the precautions, what to do. And this is important, you know, it's important, and we have to start now, before things happen.
Yeah, and do you want me to tell you a little bit more about that?
Sure.
So, this document was issued by a center of volcanology and seismography and so on, that is operating all over the world and has built up experience from what happened before in such big eruptions, you know, wherever it happened in the world. And a few guidelines are super important, is that once the volcano is erupting, there are tons of dust coming up, can be up to 4 until 10 kilometers up in the sky, and then it's carried away by the winds and it has to fall somehow. The main info we received lately is that there's going to be about 1.50 meters high of ashes in the near surrounding, like a radius of about 10 kilometers around Mount Agung, and then up to about 40 centimeters in places like Ubud. So something that has to be known is that this dust is actually, if you look at it under the microscope, it's crystalline structure. So it's sharp edged and it's very hazardous for
Yeah.
health. That is, if you inhale it, it can damage your airways, lungs, throat, and so on. If it goes into your eyes, so you need to have the proper mask that is this kind. It's called N95, and it covers up to your up to the nose. And it filters 95% of the dust, right? When it's getting dirty, you have to change it and put a new one. So it means that children, elderly people, the ones who are sensitive, but you yourself must wear this as soon as you hear about the eruption, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is also stay inside as much as you can. Close all windows, close doors, and protect your the air drafts, you know, like at the bottom of the door, with wet cloths or mops or things like this, so that the dust stays outside, because it goes absolutely everywhere. Another thing that is important is that we are in an age where we use cameras, electronics, telephones, all kind of devices, including computers, and this dust going inside abrases, that is, scratches your the memory.
The whole system is there.
So telephones and things that are precious and valuable, protect them under plastic. Protect your TP link box. Protect your own telephone for the landline. Other things are important as well is cover up the pump, because in Bali we live with pump.
Water pump.
Bringing water into your water tank, and water is precious. Also, it would be quite wise to have a little stock of water gallons, just in case the delivery cannot happen, because traffic is impeded because of this event. Maybe a few more things have to do also with taking care of your pets or your cattle if you are living on an agricultural area. Keep them inside, close as much as you can the windows and so on, and then store a little bit of food. Don't go mad. You don't need to, to
buy the whole supermarket.
Exactly. Don't go looting the supermarket. But keep a few dry foods, you know, like noodles and rice and things like that, and maybe prepare some tomato sauce in advance and freeze it and so on. Just a few precautions that I see people here are not quite aware of. And it's not about getting more frightened by saying that, it's by getting some awareness.
That's right.
Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your pets and your cattle or your livestock. Yeah,
that's right. That's what we should do on the material level, which is very important, because we are living in the material world and we have this body which is material, so we have to take care of it. On the spiritual level, I would like to add something, that in Bali we have this concept of Trihitakarana, the relationship, our relationship with God, with the environment, with each other and all that. Now, whatever is happening outside is a projection of what is happening inside. If this mound is vomiting again after, say, 53 years, something is wrong inside us. So this is a time also for us to do introspection. What has gone wrong with us? And I firmly believe, Mari, that it is just like, the natural phenomena is just like, sometimes we have to catch cold, sometimes we get flu, sometimes we have a running nose. You cannot avoid it,
And sometimes the volcano has to erupt. It's a normal, natural thing.
It's a natural thing. So you really cannot avoid it, But I firmly believe that you can minimize the effect. Just like, somebody is sick. I have seen people suffering from cancer. And then they realize that, okay, something has gone wrong with our stress level, something has gone wrong with our food habits, and something has gone wrong with our relationships, And they try to put all these in good condition. They try to change their lifestyle. They try to live more healthy, you know. And I have seen people living with cancer for last 10, 15 years. And they are okay. They are moving around, you know. And there are people, you know, the moment they know, oh, I'm suffering from cancer, 2 years, they're gone.
Yeah.
So I think conditions like this can be minimized. Okay, eruption may not be, we may not be able to cancel it. We may not. We may not. I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't have direct connection with God. So we may or we may not. But I think we can minimize. By precautions, we can even minimize the quality of the damage that can happen because of the eruption. We can, I firmly believe, we can still minimize the damage that can happen. And that takes a lot of courage for us to do introspection. What have we done? What have we done to this small, beautiful island of ours? You know, there was a rule here, a local wisdom here, that you cannot have a building taller than the palm tree. And that is good for this island. You know?
Yeah, it's reasonable, yeah.
Exactly. And the old-time houses were made of wood. They were not made of concrete like this, and then we turned to concrete. Now, I was in Japan, and I was reading about earthquakes, because earthquake happens every day in Japan. So I was reading about that, and the bottom line is, when earthquake happens, people die because of concrete, buildings falling upon them. If the buildings are made of wood, they don't die. So until now in Japan, you go to some places like Kyoto or Nara, all the houses are built by wood.
Really?
Yes. So this is what, you know, we have to understand the local wisdom, and we have to build accordingly. Don't just import any technology which may not be suitable for this island.
Yeah, that's right. So there was the volcano Agung in its last eruption. It was 1963,
Yes,
so that's
right.
54 years
4
ago.
years ago.
And one important thing that people don't know about is that it first had like big booms, you
Yes.
know, and people were around,
Yeah.
tending their fields and doing things, and they thought like, oh, so the gods are speaking, they must be angry. But they stayed around.
Yeah.
And it quietened down, and a month later it had another little, you know, like a bit of smoke,
Yes.
and another month later it erupted. That's why it was so there was so many casualties.
Yes.
It's because people were still around. Okay, so then the lava came down the slopes, outskirted the temple of Vesaki, that
Yes.
is called the Mother Temple
Yes.
here, was considered as very miraculous because the temple was not destroyed, but all over the island, the ashes going up 10 kilometers high in the sky, and the dust of the ashes falling, and then, you know, it was kind of plastering the rice fields. So a lot of people after that also died of famine, because the vegetables and the rice and the fruit were kind of damaged with the dust, with the ashes. Plus, obviously, buildings collapsed, you know, hotels were already kind of starting at the time. And so today we are September 2017, things have changed.
Yeah.
There is more control, there is all this seismography, monitoring the movements
Activity,
of the activity of the volcano. So it's sending us information that we have to integrate and accept. This is scientific.
True.
You see that the seismograph goes like this and then suddenly goes up. All scientists say, something is going to happen for sure.
Yeah.
Or it might come down. We don't know.
Yeah.
Because volcanoes have this quality of being totally unpredictable.
Yes.
Not totally, but kind of.
Somebody was telling me, please, no offense, it's like a woman menstruating. You can never know. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes like that.
Is the volcano considered as feminine or masculine?
And here is considered masculine, but in some places considered as feminine also.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's a volcano and it has this menstruation. You know, it's a man masculine thing, but it has a menstruation. So yeah, we are under the mood of the magma, and we better just be concerned and not concerned but aware. And take action. True. So tell us now, what is in what way meditation can help us settle the mind so that we take the right actions instead of being into a panic.
Yes.
How do we do proper meditation in that way?
We have quite some experience on handling this kind of situation. Yogyakarta twice happened, and we were there, and we were also recognized by the United Nations for what we did there, and the result was very good. So right now, as we are talking right now, one of our teams is already taking care of 2 camps in Karangasem, and they are there now. What happens
so Karangasem is the eastern part of the island that is the most exposed to the volcano.
True. So what is from our experience, the most vulnerable people are ladies and children. Children are very vulnerable. When they heard the sound of volcano, Merapi in Yogyakarta, that sound remained in their head for months.
Yeah.
And we did this kind of research because we are helped by a researcher also, and she's from United States. And we did this research. We would give them to paint anything, to draw something. They would paint a volcano, and they would paint nothing else, just a volcano. So their mind, their brain, is only focused on that volcano. It took us 6 months for the children to start drawing right again. So this is what is my concern, and I've been telling our friends also, please focus on children first. And it's good this time that about 30,000 plus have already moved to the camps, but there are 40,000 more who should move immediately. And of course, I cannot take care of all by myself, so I'm actually inviting people to come and join us. We have the techniques, and the technique has been proven good, right, in Jogja. So we can give this, and we are giving this already. We are moving from one camp to another camp, giving them the techniques. So every week we'll be having a camp, visit the camps. Some of our friends from Jakarta are coming. They are also helping us. So it's a integrated meditation system, and maybe different system for children, different for ladies. The men, unfortunately, until now, they are not in the camp. They go back to the field. Early morning they go back to the field, and they come back in the evening to the camp. So they have the cattle there. Now, it's a very complicated situation because you can put the human beings in the camps. Where to put the cattle?
Right.
And what about the food for cattle? They need foods too. And we can provide, the camps are everywhere now, around Karangasem, even in Sukawati, we already have a camp. Yeah, that's very close to us.
Yes. So there are a few things that are happening that are quite interesting in Ubud. 3 major yayasan. Yayasan means a foundation. An association. I would like to quote them because they are working with full integrity.
Good.
And so you can trust where you put your money and your donations. One is called Copernic with a K. One is Idet, and the other one is Bumi Sehat. Bumi Sehat means mother planet Earth.
Healthy planet.
Yeah. Healthy planet. And taking care, Bumi Sehat especially takes care of mothers and children because it's also a clinic in Ubud that helps women to give birth in the best conditions. Idet is taking care of food, blankets, milk, diapers, even providing sarongs and tents and things like that. And Copernic is covering a lot of the needs, including nurses, treatments, and so on. Maybe as well psychologists who help go beyond the trauma of losing one's belongings, and like you said, children keep the image of the volcano, and psychologists help put out of the mind, for example, on paper or in telling stories, so that you take it kind of separate from you, and then you can go on living your life. Right?
That's what we are doing. We are also supported with several psychologists, both from Jakarta, also from Bali itself. So hopefully we can do something and we can bring some relief together. All of these foundations, we can work together. And
so when we go into meditation to calm the mind, so that we're not grasped into anxiety, because when you're very anxious, you cannot think straight, you cannot act straight. You go from the emotion, you don't go from a space that is relaxed and peaceful and then see clearly what is the priority to do. No, you act like a madman. So when you sit and do meditation, what is your advice? Is there like intentions to send to the universe, to others, to yourself? What would be the best kind of easy technique for people who are not used to meditate but feel it's important now?
For this kind of situation where you are having a collective fear, it's a critical mass of fear. It's very difficult to immediately settle down and become calm. We can force ourselves to become calm. Just do some breathing techniques. You can become calm by force, but it will burst again after some time.
If
any trigger. So this trigger can be not volcano. A trigger can be in the family. Something goes wrong and volcano is erupting from your own self. So what we have been doing is, first of all, we try to find out what is the measure of stress that these people are having. Because the people are living in one camp, they could be having a similar measure of stress. So if it is, stress is quite a lot, we give them catharsis first, to take out, to vomit it out. So after that, after 1 or 2 weeks of that, then only when they are already a bit calm, then we give them more advanced techniques.
So catharsis means expressing.
Your
it
anger.
Can be very loud, it can be screaming, it can be crying, it can be yelling at people or at things or at oneself. And then, once this is out, you find a space that is more calm. And then you go to the next method.
That's true. But before, even in catharsis also, we are using a lot of pranayama from yoga to bring out all the dirt from inside. Some pranayama. Some of the breathing techniques, they are good breathing techniques. That is good for taking out vomiting out all the stress that you have. To trigger the stress actually, so everything comes out. It's just like you are having a food poisoning and then you have to take a carbon pills to take out everything. So take out everything first. After that, when you are calm, then we make them more calmer. And to see the situation with the right understanding. Look, we cannot avoid this. Now we have to move on. What do we do? And this has to come from within. What do we do? How should we move on?
Acceptance.
And moving on.
So, there's something that we are maybe not quite all aware of, but it's worth noticing, is that obviously an eruption like this is going to have an impact on the ecology, right? Because it's not actually lava going down the slopes, it's boiling ashes that go down the slope and follow the river and the streams, like the bed of the river. So water is going to be hot and boiling, and it affects the lower tables of water. So the ecology is going to be damaged for quite a while. Animals are going to perish and so on. The other aspect is the economical aspect. That is, when such a cloud of ashes is flying around, flights are going to be cancelled, going in to Bali and out. Everything is coming to a stop. So it means that Bali, being a lot orientated towards tourism, it's going to be a big depression, right? So tourists are not coming already. There are many cancellations. We're gonna come back later. We cancel our flight. We cancel our hotel. We cancel our bookings for this and for that. It's already happening. And then it means that hotels, restaurants, homes, houses, what you call it, homestays, and so on.
They're all affected.
They will be affected. So income will be less, and it's stressful. It's generating anxiety. How am I going to survive through this? And we just got to be aware that better find other ways or better deal with this in a calm way than going into a rush of panic. So what do you suggest in that case? How do we deal with the economical and ecological impact?
Well, we really have to depend upon our saving for some time. We really have to depend on our saving. But of course, people who are in business, they may have different options, because exports from here, like statues, all these things, actually they can make a better use of those opportunities.
Does this happen in 2002 when there was this bomb in Kuta? And then there was a tsunami in Sumatra, 2006, I believe. So both events affected tremendously the economy in Bali. Like people were desperate. How do we make some income? Because a lot of Balinese people sold their rice fields. First of all, it's tiring to work in a rice field, so it's got sold, and they built hotels or villas. And then no income, because the bomb had like a huge impact. Australians people were no more flying here, Japanese forget it, Europeans were afraid, and so on. So it really had a very sharp fall into the bringing income to Bali. So we already have this experience.
Already have this experience, and this is what I've been telling many friends, those who come here for meditation. There are a lot of Balinese and farmers and handicraft makers. I keep telling them, don't rely on only tourism. Rely on export also. Tourism, you can never know anything like this. You never know what will be the impact and how long. We don't know. I hope it is over in few months, but we never know the impact for how long. And there can be so many international flights not willing to come to Bali because of safety reasons and all that. So the impact can be long, and the only thing is to empower oneself so that we don't only have one source of income. And the Balinese, they can have several sources of income. They are artists, they are dancers. They can have many sources of income. They really have to concentrate on other sources. Like you said, yes, even a lot of people who are into the handicraft business, they have few rooms in their house, and they rely more on tourist business rather than on their handicraft business.
Handicraft or what? Go back to growing your own rice? Grow your sayur, your vegetable, and...
I've been telling that Bali has to be self-sufficient. We are importing even flowers for the puja, for the ceremonies. We are importing from Java. So that is not a good economy. Every island, we have got 17,000 islands, say the major islands, so many, few, but every island should be self-sufficient. It is only then that the progress is sustainable.
All right, so there's total change of perception in that regard. But it appears that since this terrorist bombing happened and we went through this experience, we're still relying on tourism a lot. It hasn't been changing so much.
That is bad. That is sad.
So maybe that's the third major experience that's going to teach us something. Right?
Teach us something. I hope so. We pray so. That's all I think.
So we hope the information we have given here, we've shared with you, is going to be useful. Please take care, stay safe, and stay in touch with us. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.